Feel welcome, will you? Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Connolly. Here. Sit down.
You got a beautiful home.
Yes. Isn't it nice here?
Great.
How are you anyway? Yeah.
How am I?
Yes.
Oh, I'm okay. I thought you said, who are you? I thought
No,
we were
no,
gonna start
no.
with-
Does it help?
I'm doing just fine, yeah. I look a bit wrecked. We set out from Sydney at 5 o'clock this morning, and we've done all that press thing. You get a bit jaded.
You're going to meet press all day when you come on these tours.
Yeah, I tell so many lies, you know, to make it my life seem exotic and interesting, you know, I colour it up a bit. It's a bit tiring, yeah.
What about, we saw a quote today, they said that you are morally corrupt.
Oh, yeah, that was South Africa. They banned my records and my book because I'm morally corrupt. And coming from them, I think that's a scream, but
Yeah.
they said it, yeah. I like being known as morally corrupt. It's quite exotic, isn't it? It's quite sort of windswept, you know.
Yeah,
Hello, I'm morally corrupt. For a living.
What is it in particular that they object to?
I think I did a sketch on an album about sexual perversion.
Oh.
And they didn't like that much. And I talk about bodily functions. I'm always talking about my body. You know, it's malfunctions and it's ineptitude. You know, it just sometimes it doesn't work properly.
Yeah.
The way I would like it to. The way the guys in books, their bodies works okay. Mine sort of.
You mean heroes in books?
Sometimes I'm confused about my body. Like your nose, for instance. I was thinking about the stuff that lives up there, right? So you've all got, it's only other people's that's horrible, you know, it's fine. And I always thought when my nose was badly, or everybody's nose is badly designed, because the stuff falls out onto your face. Right. And it's true. And in the winter, when your lip's numb, you can't feel it until you look in the shop window and go, tear half your face off, try and get half your moustache.
On a cold day, too.
Yeah, I always thought your nose should be the other way up. To hold things in. But then you would drown in the rain, wouldn't you?
Yes, you certainly would, yeah. You spent some time in America. It's curious about having a Scottish accent and being able to work in America.
Yeah, I've done really well in America, and I've done really badly. I started in the bars and in Massachusetts, and I've gone all the way to Madison Square Garden with Elton John, which was a nightly exercise in terror, cold panic.
Why is that?
Because I wasn't on the bill, I wasn't on the posters or anything. So every night they'd all be playing with their frisbees, like 28,000 people throwing frisbees at each other.
Yeah.
And I'd be in the dressing room, they'd be trying to drag me out. And they'd say, ladies and gentlemen, they go, Elton's friend. Who? Billy Connolly. Who? And a Scottish guy wearing banana boots and a banjo. What's going on here? But it was great. I love America. It's a nice. Well, the only thing is, it's about once a year ago now. And the handshakes have changed by the time I get back. You know, they're getting terrible.
Oh, yeah, they always do that in America, yeah.
Standing like that.
Yeah. The football players in America started all that. With
All
the
that,
business
and the basketball guys. It takes them about half an hour to shake hands. It's unbelievable. I met a guy, I like the abrasive New York humour, you know. I had been to a Scottish festival in New Jersey. Huge big thing. And we all get plastered at night. It was, you know, the whiskey was flying everywhere. And I don't drink whiskey. But, you know, you've become super Scot when you're there. Whiskey, certainly. Yeah. I was with this guy called Callum Kennedy, a Gaelic singer. Totally wazooed. And in the morning, I looked like the drummer from the Muppets, you know. Like, most of the time. And I was in the restaurant of the hotel, and the waiter came up, and he was a very sort of gayish New Yorker, sleeves away, and a butterfly tattooed in his arm, and a lot of bracelets. And I could hardly see the menu, you know. And I saw scrambled eggs, and he said, well, what would you like, dear? And I said, eggs. And I pointed to the scrambled eggs. I managed to get eggs out. And he turned to the whole restaurant, the whole throng, and said, it likes eggs. Yeah. It really cheered me up.
Yeah. New York people are funny. Very, very difficult to shake up New Yorkers, you know.
I think they're great. That lovely abrasive humour. I remember is it Essex House it's called in Central Park, that big hotel? Anyway, it was the middle of the blizzard in '78, And all these executives couldn't go home from Manhattan. There was a state of emergency. They were skiing on Fifth Avenue. It was great. And the hotel was jammed with these executives. And you could see them on the phone calling home. And the secretary at their side saying, sorry, darling, can't make it. Right? The girl's going, oh, yeah, okay, booking rooms. And I was being interviewed in the bar by a guy from, are you familiar with Crud Eddie magazine? It's a rock and roll magazine.
Yeah.
And he looked like me, the guy's all hair and beard and windswept and interesting, you know. And, and all these executives were in the bar with the gin and tonics. And along at the end was another hairy guy who kept looking over and giving us the old familiar. And I was wondering what he was all about. And he eventually made his way along till he was next to me and he said, I'm really glad you guys are here. And I said, why? He said, I thought I was the only freak in here. And so I said, you can join the company if you like. Oh, great, great. He said, I've got a load of dope upstairs. And I said, oh, it's okay, man, I'm all right. Just feel welcome. You know what I mean? He said, yeah, I'm sorry, man. He said, I suffer from inverted vertigo. I said, what's that? He said, when I'm not high, I'm frightened.
But the true part about the United States is there's a million extroverts there. If you watch those quiz programs, even that they have, they can get anybody out of an audience anyway to do anything. I mean, I watched the Gong Show and those other shows.
Oh, the Gong Show is wonderful.
Or like Let's Make a
Let's
Deal.
Make a Deal. I saw Let's Make. You know, I don't know if the
I don't know
Australian
if
people. Are you
have ever seen
familiar with Let's Make a Deal? Where they all dress up in the audience with notices on them.
Yeah, they all dress up in character and try and get picked
Try
to
and
play.
get picked from the audience to compete. And there was two big yellow chickens sitting. This man and wife in chicken suits. And they got picked. I felt really sad. You know that sort of dignity stripping exercise they do over there? Yeah. And the two of them waddled out. They got picked, standing there like Egypts with these chicken suits on. And there was something behind the curtain and they thought it was a car, you know. And the guy's saying, right, I'll give you $400 if you let me keep the thing behind the curtain. No, we'll go for the big one. 500. No, we'll... And they opened the curtain eventually, and it was a cement mixer. an old battered cement. And you should have seen the dejection in these two chickens, you know. And I was trying to... How did they get to the gig? Did they arrive like that up the street? And he'd be sitting in the taxi on the way home, and he'd be saying, I told you to take the money. It was your idea. That's a shame, isn't it?
They are strange over there. Did you ever go to Disneyland or anything?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah?
I thought it was... I didn't want to go in the first
Disneyland
place.
sort of gets to you like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just didn't want to go there in the first place. I thought it was like, we are not alone. I didn't want to go. My kids wanted to go. I've got two children, you see. My boy's 11, my girl's 7. And I thought, oh, no. And I went, actually, with Elton John's mother and father. And we went, and I loved it. I was pushing the children back to see better. I've seldom been so impressed as I was with Disneyland. It was lovely.
Did his folks enjoy it?
Oh, I tell you, it was really funny. Well, it's funny in a kind of bizarre way. She was very tired. Sheila, Elton's mother, she was really tired. We'd been walking all the time through the place. And there was a wheel, we were watching a big parade, you know. They have a big parade at night with Mickey Mouse and everybody. And there was a wheelchair sitting. And I said to Sheila, look, have a rest in that just now, you know, just take your feet off the ground, you'll be okay. And she went, yeah, okay. And she sat down. And one of those terribly helpful Disneyland blazer people came up, said, just leave it to me, and pushed her the rest of the way. We're all this big smile in California. They're all diving in doorways. One of those situations you just, once you're in, you can't get out of it. You can't then say, hey, look at America. It's terribly embarrassing, you know.
Yeah. What about Australia now? You've got a tour. I know you're going to Newcastle, Canberra, Adelaide, Perth. Oh, by the way, I just want to tell people that you've added a show in Melbourne down here on the 25th. You're here on the 24th.
It's great, we're adding shows everywhere.
And another show you've added in Sydney at the Regent Theatre. Right. You'll be just about everywhere. People will be able to see.
Most of the big towns.
What about Australian audiences? You like
they're
what?
great. They're very, very good indeed. I usually play to theatres full of Scottish people in Australia. Yeah, but hey, I think I'm going to get a lot more Australians this time. I hope so, because it seems an awful long way to come to play to Scottish folk. They're very, very nice and they're great in the audience, but, you know, I'd really like to appeal to Australian audience. And
I
it's
think
happening,
I think your sense of humor does, mate. It's really wild, and I just
it's
love
very like
talking-
the Glasgow. It's very abrasive humour. Glasgow's like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's that insulting kind of humour.
Thanks for coming in. I
I
didn't do
know,
a secret
really.
handshake. I
Oh,
should have
yeah.
done one of those. Right. Billy Connolly. We'll be back. Christine O'Donnell's got a song. Kevin Arnett's taking us over to the Science Museum live. It'll be a ball. Don't worry about it.